Well, the time is just gone 9:40 a.m. and the question is, when is this going to stop? Week after week, day after day, hour after hour, and as we see this genocide continuing to unfold in its most brutal form, and just during the week, we covered the burning of people alive, the screams, the footage that came out, just listening to the sounds, and these are sounds that will haunt us forever. Just listening to people screaming, being burnt alive. And once again, we've learned of another strike, UNRWA school in northern Gaza, killing 28, including children. And it's difficult. It's difficult for us, but how difficult is it for someone who is a Palestinian, who is connected in more ways than one, family, who is connected with the land that has been stolen? And I know Dr. Shahd Abusalama, whom we've spoken to previously as well. And there's just so much he said, so much he's written, but also I'm sure the tiredness in her voice. Just how much can a human being actually take? And just to unpack what is happening and the latest, we are now joined by the Palestinian academic, Dr. Shahd Abusalama. Dr. Shahd, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome.
Walaikum salam, and thank you so much for having me and for not giving up on the Palestinians.
Well, we certainly won't, and it's been non-stop. It's been relentless, and since October the 7th last year at Salam Media, this was a decision that we had taken, a conscious decision that we will not stop, we will continue, and it's just getting worse by the day. It is getting more brutal, and for me, I think the images of those that were being burnt alive, that now encapsulated as to what lengths this occupying entity will go to dehumanize, to murder, and to commit this genocide against the people of Palestine.
It's the same question that we take with us to bed every day for over a year now. We don't know what will it take for Israel to stop this systematic terror campaign, this genocidal ethnic cleansing campaign against the Gaza Strip. And of course, we know that this wouldn't have been able to continue if there was enough political will to stop it. But we live in a world that doesn't respect Palestinian lives and doesn't give it the same worth as other lives.
Yes, and I think, for us personally, at Salam Media, and for me as well, the reality hit home when we had the opportunity of world-renowned journalist Yumna Al-Said from Al Jazeera, who came to South Africa on a tour. And having covered this genocide for over a year, uh, I thought personally that I knew a lot. But just talking to Yumna Al Said and providing a deeper insight into what this genocide had actually meant shows that there's very little. And that alone should inspire us to continue. And I'm sure with you as well, Shad, where you've now, you've got family, people, who have been killed, who have been murdered, people who are suffering, and all of that. And I'm sure, for you, it must be, I cannot imagine a lot worse because I hear it in your voice, I see it in your face. I hear the tiredness as well.
So the genocide have been described as the most televised genocide in history. And despite the hyper visibility of Palestinians, despite Palestinian journalists like Yumna, like my cousins who are on the front line in the north of Gaza, Mahmoud Abusalama and Aboud Abusalama, despite many people risking their lives to save lives and to stop the genocide and highlight the ongoing realities that we're living, actually what comes out to the world is hardly anything of the daily traumas that we're living. To give you a little description of what has been going in the north, which I feel has been abandoned by the whole world, um, except for a few whose conscience is still alive. The north of Gaza has been undergoing the most horrific stage of genocide. This is the third time that the Israeli forces re-invade the north, re-invade Jabalia refugee camp where I was born and raised, and subjugate the people, the displaced people there who have survived more than a year of this high-tech televised genocide, um, to starvation and to multiple displacements. Just in the confinement of my own family, my family survivors have so far, since the 5th of October, when this major terrorist campaign began on the north of Gaza, they've been displaced twice, if not more, in some cases even more. And we've just been waking up to endless horrors. Our brains cannot cope, cannot process any of these horrors. We've never witnessed such scales of terror. We're seeing our homes that have already been demolished and in some cases set on fire, being now flattened to the ground in a systematic campaign that is trying to raise whole neighborhoods in the north. So, and this is, of course, other than the mass killing that is happening and systematic devastation of the health sector, the starvation, the deliberate starvation campaign that is being committed as part of a plan to empty to empty the north of Gaza in particular of its people and to annex the north, as has been expressed openly by several Israeli leaders. And you're seeing this, and our families were struggling to get in touch with them. And when we do get hold of them, they are only appealing for help, but we don't know what to do to help. We don't know how to comfort them. We don't know how to assure them that the future will be better for their children. It's absolutely horrific, and it can't continue without any consequences to the Israeli occupation. We are just really like left with no words to describe the horrors that has been going on.
Yes,
Um,
certainly. And, like you said, is sometimes you are lost for words. You just don't know how to describe it. And even I think for us as journalists as well, it is so catastrophic in more ways than one. And each day brings more horrors than the previous day. And this alone is very, very difficult to come to terms with. Yet we know that obviously on the ground there is a lot of support for the people of Palestine. But again, where it really matters, we are not seeing that effort, that concerted effort, that action that
yeah,
is required to stop this horror of all horrors.
yeah, they are not interested. I think Israel had come to a realization that they can only survive as an apartheid settler colonial state through perpetual killing and devastation of the Palestinian people and the Arab region in general. They realize that they can't exist without that, And of course, the US administration, the genocidal US administration, and other allies in Europe, whether the UK or Germany or Italy, uh, Vienna, and other countries that are offering military aid and lip service to Israel. Um, they're just giving unconditional support to Israel, even when we already have two rulings by the ICC. First one condemning Israel for um, its long-standing occupation, illegal occupation of Palestine, and the second one condemning Israel for the current genocidal crimes committed before the eyes of the whole world. Um, what will it take to stop this? I don't know. But it's not just the Palestinians' lives here and Palestinian civil society that is at stake, but the whole humanity is at stake now. And and as we see this evil being committed day in, day out, week in, week out, one month after the other, and God knows for how long more. And even after they have assassinated Yahya Sinwar, that they claim was responsible for 7th of October, they insist that they will continue this mass killing and destruction. So the goal of Israel has been the same since the beginning of the state of Israel, a land without people. And this goal has been sought systematically and consistently since 1948. And now it's arriving at genocidal levels. And no one seems um, to bother to make some serious to take some serious actions to deter Israel from going any further with their crimes. And we know that if what is happening in Gaza is not happening, what is happening in the West Bank in itself, like would have occupied all front lines. But because of the horrors that we're witnessing in the Gaza Strip, um, we don't hear enough about the rising terror that is practiced by terrorist settlers, and the expansion of settlers at a faster pace than ever, because the Israeli fanatic administration at the minute is they know what they're doing. They are taking this opportunity to dominate as much land as possible, steal as much land, and empty the land of its people. This is the goal. And we know that this is the goal, and this has been already called by multiple international organizations, including the UN, and still it is going on. They want us to disbelieve our eyes.
Yes,
They
certainly.
want us
But
to
also,
believe that the history
mm,
starts on 7th of October. They want us to completely ignore the realities of apartheid and settler colonialism and illegal occupation that has continued for more than 7 decades.
well, a lot of it is obviously coming out in the open, and if there is a silver lining that has come out of this genocide, is it's actually woken up the world. Like you mentioned, it is humanity that is at stake, and it is not only the Palestinians. And we've always maintained, Shahad, that Gaza and the genocide that's unfolding in Palestine will change the course of history, will determine the new order, and we see it on the ground. We see the levels of support right across the entire world coming
Yeah.
through for the people of Palestine. And at some point in time, it certainly will stop. But again, it's up to people like yourselves. It's up to people like ourselves to continue talking about it, to
Yeah.
continue highlighting these injustices, the oppression, the devastation that this genocide has brought along with it. And we will definitely continue. And like Etzela Media, we brought Yumna Al Said. And next up, we are going to be talking with Hamza Chalan, who is coming through to South Africa as well, hailing from the Jabalia camp as well. He is a photojournalist to bring out to the world what these horrors mean. And then it's going to take ordinary people on the ground, to put pressure on their governments, to put pressure on the world, to put pressure on the powers that be, that this genocide has to come to an end.
Yes, thank you so much. The gap between the people and their leaders has never been as evident. Those proclaimed democracies are not acting in the interest of their own people, and they're not representing the cause of their own people who have been going to the streets every week since the beginning of the genocide, calling for an end to the mass killing and destruction of the Palestinian people and an end to the occupation. Um, I just want to leave you with with a request. Please keep my cousin Ilyas in your prayers. Ilyas is an 8-year-old refugee kid who who was just playing amid displacement, um, just escaping the displacement and the genocide for a brief moment with his friends in the beach camp, and playing with marbles in the street when Israeli drones targeted them all of a sudden, leaving kids, literally kids, between dead and wounded. And luckily, um, my cousin Ilyas wasn't amongst the 11 who perished in the attack. However, he was severely injured. And this is a child who represents all the children of Gaza, and particularly in the north right now, in the midst of the devastation of the health sector. We are extremely worried for the recovery of Ilyas and whether he's going to survive or not. Ilyas um, has actually been released of hospital yesterday, but not because he's any better. It's because the hospital cannot offer him anything. And just think of Ilyas and think that this 8-year-old child is not alone. He represents tens of thousands of children who are screaming for a chance to live, a chance to grow and accomplish their ambitions, a chance to dream, a chance to play. Like, what is the fault of Ilyas? Ilyas had committed no fault other than being a Palestinian born in Jabalia refugee camp. So, so please keep Ilyas and keep the children of Gaza, who comprise more than 50% of the population of Gaza, in your prayer. They continue to be the most consistent target of Israeli genocide. Do everything in your power, in your community, in your workplace. Um, do everything in order to stop this. Because, as I said earlier, it is our humanity that is at stake. And if Palestine wins, humanity will also win. Thank you
Well,
so much.
certainly, and we certainly will remember the name Ilyas, and definitely Shahd. He will be in our prayers as well, and as will everybody else in Palestine. But we do appreciate you taking time out this morning. I know you are out in Spain, in Barcelona, and you've taken time out this morning to us here at Salam Media to talk to us at Salam Media. We wish you all the best, inshallah, and I'm sure we will touch base from time to time. But for now, all the best to you, Shahd. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam. Thank you so much.
Shahd Abusalama joining us out of Barcelona in this morning, and let us not forget, let us remember the name of Ilyas, as Shahad mismentioned. And next up, we're going to be joined by, from Jabalia camp as well, Hamza Jalan. He is a photojournalist, content creator. We are excited about this one, the Hamza Jalan South African tour, right here with Salam Media.